All right, Jeff, we are live. So, hey, everybody, I'm Dennis Stoika with Modern Air Warriors. Thank you so much for being here today. Today, we have another amazing special guest. And if you've been listening in, right, I'm trying to do my best, to, at least within the first year of our podcast, to bring people on that really matter to me the most, right, that have been extremely beneficial to me, that have helped mold Dennis, coaches that I've had. I've gone down and trained with Jeff and used his system and for kettlebell training, although his system's more than just kettlebell training as well, right? But today we have Jeff Martone with us today. He's the founder and CEO of Tactical Athlete Training Systems, considered a pioneer and one of the founding fathers of the modern kettlebell movement in the United States. No joke, folks, 100%, right? Lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. I've visited him in Knoxville, Tennessee. I would love to retire someday in Knoxville, Tennessee myself, or around that area. So maybe in a few years, I'll be seeing a lot more of Jeff. That would be great. I'm just going to go over a few things that he has, right? So world, Olympic kettlebell holder as well. But first to implement kettlebell program into federal law enforcement academies in 2001, creator of H2H kettlebell drills, juggling in 2002, creator of TAPS. It's a tactical athlete pull-up system, which is amazing. I have it in the basement. Did that in 2003. He's a senior instructor in other systems as well, and CrossFit coach as well, right? What else can we say? Kettlebell SME for CrossFit since 2006 to the present, right, as well. He's got his own kettlebell training courses as well, basic and advanced. He's got a creator of a shot program, right, and coaches in just, again, other systems as well. Jeff, what else can you tell us about Jeff as far as, the Olympic? You have 2 times North American record holder in the long cycle, right? And other ranks that you have as well in long cycle. You can get more involved with that, so I don't really mess that up. But for everyone that's live now or later, right, who is Jeff Martone? What is your purpose, passion, and principles for yourself, maybe for your business, which is different than yourself? And then what are some of the fun things that you just do? Maybe just, like for me, I don't have that much fun. Like what I do for my work is my fun. So Jeff, go for it.
Right. Hey, Dennis, first of all, just thanks for having me on the show. Mm-hmm. It's a real privilege. And as far as who's Jeff Martone, well,
it's a great question I ask everybody.
Great question. One, definitely, Christian by choice, American by birth, half Italian, half Irish, very internally conflicted at times. But no, man, dude, I'm a dad, got 2 kids, I got 3 grandkids. I spent 30 years just about, and in and out of federal law enforcement, just more training. And like you said, doing CrossFit and all that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and lifelong martial artist, shooter, all that. But as far as passions, from the time I was a little kid, back in the day, I was a little kind of chubby, easygoing kid, and pretty quick to find out that not everybody's your friend, you get picked on, whatever. And I had a great opportunity to I had a great dad, great brother, great training partner, definitely my older brother. And just really at an early age, found value being in shape, to learning to fight, defend yourself, defend others. And when it comes to really training, and a lot of times I say this, is, why do we train? Why do we want to get stronger, mm-hmm. get skillful and stuff like that? It's really, to protect those, the strong protect the weak. It's like, mm-hmm. I'm not a super strong guy. I'm not. There's like tons of dudes, stronger, better shooters, better fighters, whatever. But at the end of the day, the passion is, for me, when it comes to training, is train good guys to crush the bad guys in the most really efficient manner possible. without breaking a sweat and without getting injured yourself. You know what I mean?
Sure.
That's pretty
So,
much.
so for those that don't know, though, in the invite that I put, not for today to remind everybody today, but like a week or two ago, right? I put a picture of Jeff and me up on Facebook. I'm not a small guy. I'm about 5'11" and 210. But if you go back and look at this picture, I'll post it again. Jeff's like up here, okay, and I'm like down here, okay. So Jeff, how big are you?
Just like, dude, honestly, I'm like,
6'3".
no, actually, dude, I used to be 6'2". I'm like, I'm shrinking.
Yeah. So you still stand at me about 4 inches taller than me. So
Yeah,
something like that.
You know what I mean? But I'm right about 200 pounds.
Yeah.
You know?
Awesome. Very good. Hey, so that leads me into the next question then, right? What is Tactical Athlete? What is your company? And when we talk about, training, maybe military and law enforcement, but I don't want to put words in your mouth, but at the end of the day, I'm thinking that everybody's a tactical athlete at the end of the day, right? Mom can be the tactical athlete. Young girls can be a tactical athlete, right? Sure. And from what you're saying, like making the weak, right, be able to survive and be strong. But go ahead. What is Tactical Athlete, the company, and anything you want to add to that?
100%.
Who's it for?
Yeah, so it just like I said, it's for everybody, right? When I originally came up with the concept, there's very few things in life that I say that actually invented or coined or anything like that. You know, especially in training. I tell guys all the time, man, if you think you invented something, you probably didn't do your research. Because I guarantee you somebody, 50, 100, 200 years ago doing the exact same thing at a higher skill level. You know what I mean? But having said that, back in the 2002, I was lead instructor for, at this Federal Law Enforcement Academy when I incorporated kettlebells and stuff like that. But dude, here's the thing, right? And I'll just tell you up front, like I'm not emotionally attached to kettlebells or any one particular implement, but the fact that especially at that time, it really helped bridge the gap. You see, because back in, shoot, man, dating myself, late 80s, you know what I mean? You know the deal, man. Being in the military, being law enforcement, it's like back then, they really had two. When it comes to fitness, man, there's almost like two tracks. You had the endurance track, which had guys that are really good runners, and you had like kind of like the bodybuilding track.
Big guy or the big muscle guys, right? Maybe the strongman type.
Yeah. And both kind of had their limitations. Like the guys are just skinny little runners. You know what I mean, dude? Great, they can run all day, but you load them up, they're not so much. I mean, you put them in, they're kind of weak. You know what I mean? Then you got the guys that are kind of got the show muscles, right? Dude, they're the first ones to fall out, and a lot of them can't fight either. You know what I mean?
So I got to jump in here because I try to not jump in too much, but
man, go.
I can't. What you just said, you might come into my dojo or the gym, whatever you want to refer to what Modern Air Warriors Integrated Warrior Training is, right? And when I get, I have like a lot of small Marines might have come in, like we were a Marine, and they have an unbelievable small frame and stature, right? And they can do 100 pull-ups or run for whatever because they're like a little bunny rabbit, right? And then you got big guys that could carry a load for whatever, right? But I typically see the same thing you just said. You can make yourself look strong and sexy and all your muscles look good, but you can't even do 100 burpees. You know what I mean? Or it's not very functional. It's not functional. You can't function.
No, in the same regards too. Like remember when, dude, back I don't know when early '90s, messing around with BJJs and started getting popular and all that. This one I also noticed is like guys that guys that aren't used to like rolling, you know what I mean, or grappling. Like this, and I remember specifically I was rolling with this guy who's like ultra marathon and all this other stuff. I don't think we were, even rolling like a minute, and I thought he was gonna throw up on me. You know what I mean? He's like gassed. And it's the same thing, like, you got guys that, you throw them in the ring, if they're not used to getting hit and stuff, and not used to being relaxed when they're under pressure, it's like, dude, they just fall apart, you know what I mean? So what good is it, you know what I mean?
So not just the kettlebell, but tactical athletes, and I know COVID has killed my courses too, but the courses that you've had for, the tactical athlete program, right? a holistic type program, some body weight exercise, maybe some kettlebell work? What typically, what does Jeff do and what does he promote?
Yeah. So it's really a combination. The Taft Athlete program is really a combination of everything. It's a combination of kettlebells, body weight. Yeah, I mean, learning to move athletically, right? You know, like, you know, there's footwork drills, different things that I show that. Again, man, it's fundamentals of fighting. You know, fighting's fighting. Whether you like, you know, what I mean, whether you're boxing or trying to get an angle on somebody, or you're doing CQB or whatever, angles are, you know what I mean, and it's just like. And it's just like in fighting's fighting. So the bottom line is like in your footwork drills, going back to it, like that, how do you move, whether you're on the range or shooting on the move, whether you're, you know what I mean, doing CQB, it's like, dude, you got, you know, footwork, boxing. I mean, it's all the same. You know what I mean? You got to be able to move athletically. So I throw in like, you know, some footwork drills that you can, that combine with everything. Whether you're jumping on the back of the truck and you got a load on your back. How do you land? How do you move? You know what I mean? You're certain without jacking yourself up. You know what I mean? You think it's common sense, but it's not. So you just blend it all. You know what I mean? You blend your movement, the kettlebell stuff, grip strength. It's also great for asymmetric. You know what I mean? How if you're doing one arm stuff. Because again, if you're fighting somebody, if you're grabbing them, if you know what I mean, trying to cuff them, whack them, whatever the deal is, dude, gotta have good grip strength, and you gotta be able to, you know.
That's why we promote. Look, that's why I love you. That's why, you know, we do tactical athlete type stuff, right? In my gym too, right? Whether it's with a kettlebell, a sandbag, right? And body weight exercises, right? Love to start with the body weight. It's kind of like the military, right? Body weight gets you into boot camp, you know, and eventually you got to move with load. And it's not just for athlete, meaning like, you know, football athlete, which also needs to be in maybe weird positions to be able to catch and jump and run and at those athletic movements, right? But they don't do that from a bench in a gym, right? No. Our bodies, we're lifting stuff from the floor, not right, or the ground, right? Not from a bench press and stuff like that, right? Lifting from the floor, very different, right?
I mean, which goes back to like, you know, so you got, you know, drag your buddy out in there. You still got to pick him up. You know what I mean?
Sure. All right, we're going to move on to question 3. Why should someone consider training with a kettlebell and other small implements versus going to the gym? That's a kind of a follow-up to where I just left off.
Absolutely. You know. Well, gym. It's okay. When you say gym, I'll tell you what pops in my mind. It's more of a Globo gym. You know what I mean?
No, sure.
Which is like, you know, not to bag on like modern day public education, you know what I mean? It's dumbed down to the lowest level. And, you know what I mean? Is you got to be able to think, right? So if you want to go through like, you know, if you're going to go to a gym where there's some world-class coaches actually going to show you how to, you know what I mean? Show you good technique, how to move weight around, how to move your body around. Because technique is everything, right? It's going to keep you injured, and it's going to, because, you know, Louis Simmons pretty much summed it up this way: when it comes to weightlifting or lifting weight, doesn't matter if it's odd objects or whatever. It's a combination of mathematics, physics, and body mechanics. It's just not about, you know, lifting weight. So having said that, you know, there's a science to everything that you do. So I always encourage people to get trained. You know the deal, man. Do train with world-class coaches. They're out there. You know what I mean?
So Jeff, that's why I train with you too, right? So Dennis Stoica, right, found the best Krav instructors, right? Grappling, striking, kettlebell, sandbag, body weight, you know, from even high school football to today, right? And just consistently searching out coaches. And I think you said it best, because look, you can join a gym for $20 a month and have that experience, the global gym, whatever you refer to that as, right? That type of gym, right? Or you can Or you can go get a real coach that's expert world class, right? Train underneath them and learn. So you can do it yourself someday, right? Yeah. And then if you can go back, you can always go back to the coach for that consistency, that dedication, that commitment, right? Learning more, right? But at the end of the day, too, a lot of it comes back to some basics, too, right? We don't need to be doing crazy stuff. To me, it's about being consistent, doing the basics good, right? Go ahead. I know you got to follow up on the basic story. I know it.
No, I'm a stickler on fundamentals and on the basics. You know what I mean? and everybody should. You know, it's not, dude. I mean, there's so many different thoughts pop in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, you know, a friend of mine's boxing coach. This guy's like world class. And he's like, listen, he goes, everybody's looking for the next thing. He goes, you know what the next thing is? It's really the first thing, but only do it right this time. And dude, and that's it. And you know, guys are experts. What's the definition of high speed? It's somebody who could apply the fundamentals, you know what I mean, under stress. Yep. I mean, you know, boom, they're always right. And dude, and quoting from this other guy who's can't pronounce his name, man. He's got a long, like, Polish last name, but he's a World War II vet. And he, you know, he's training up dudes. He's a sergeant at the time, and he's like, listen, he's like, learn it right the first time, and you do it right the rest of your life. The
10,000 repetition rule, right? The basics in BJJ, you can be a blue to purple belt, and that's really all you need, to win the tactical fight, right?
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, and this is what goes back to finding the coach, because if you learn it wrong, you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to get it right. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's no good. You know
100%. I mean? And you also risk injury by trying to do things yourself, right?
Dude, yeah. Mm-hmm. Guys, you know what I mean? Like all of us, dude, I wish I could say I was above it. I'm not. You know, I'm just like everybody else. You know what I mean? It's like when you're younger, you think you're indestructible. You're like, whatever. And you don't really pay attention to the details that you should be. You know what I mean?
Which leads us to the next question, indestructible. Tell us about your indestructible tactical athlete kettlebells. That's a good segue.
All right, so kettlebells, you know what I mean? There's all different qualities. You know what I mean? Some are solid cast. You got the competition ones that are hollow cast. Mm-hmm. You know what, man? It's like I'm kind of, dude. Here's the thing, man. It's I could have had kettlebells made like 20 years ago. You know what I mean? But I didn't, and a lot of reasons. And the ones I'm getting made now are definitely USA manufacturer. And because here's the thing, the Chinese made ones and flat out, you know what I mean? Hey, whatever. You know what I mean? But dude, you don't know what kind of quality you get. And I've seen them come apart, you know what I mean? This and that. And I've had actually guys that at US foundries try to like figure out what kind of metal's actually in them. And dude, it's you might as well just roll the dice. You know what I mean?
Your kettlebells are not sport kettlebells, right? And or are you making sport kettlebells as well?
Well, the ones I'm making, and this is why they are the hollow cast sport type kettlebell. Right. You know what I mean? And the reason is it's the same reason why I have bumper plates, is that it gives you consistency of movement, right? Okay. There's no solid cast ones except that I mean they're durable and stuff, but they and I still got some. You know what I mean? Is that every time you change the size, the dimensions of your kettlebell changes. So you kind of losing some consistency. You got to change your technique a little bit here and there, right? It's a little different. Back in the day, in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, before they invented the bumper plate, is like, dude, if you got like 25s on the bar, you pulling out.
Sure, no, I hear you loud and clear, right? Mm-hmm.
So so it's like that. So two, the ones I'm making are ductile iron, which is like, I don't know, dude, it's something like 500 times stronger than steel or something like that. And
crazy,
it's super durable. Like I took the thinnest walled one I had, which is the 12 kilo, and literally had a 20-pound sledge, put that kettlebell on it was on a concrete sidewalk. And dude, I wore myself out trying to like break that thing, break the handle, try to like smash it in. Dude, I sit on top of this boulder and literally like kind of like swinging the bell overhead and like all my might trying to smash that boulder to bust the kettlebell. And actually, I couldn't believe it, man. It actually like split the boulder I was standing on. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude. So the original.
So is that how you came up with the word indestructible then? The indestructible tactical athlete kettlebells?
Well, here's the thing, man. And my goal, this is my goal, and I'll tell you kind of where I am on it. My goal is to have it where, and this is what the thing that, the downside of the whole process is the coding, right? Is I wanted to get something coded in such a way, and I tried all like black nitrite, finishes, different stuff they use in farms industry. I tried this, that, the other thing. So I wanted like you could throw this thing in a comics box, you could throw it in the ocean, it doesn't matter, it's not gonna get rusty. However, I'm having a hard time with that, dude. Everything's still getting rusty, so you know what I mean. But that was the original idea. As far as like dude, indestructible. Yeah, you could hand this thing down to your grandkids. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Break it.
So the one reason why I also like the other type of kettlebells, right, is because of grip strength. Though when I move up to a 50-pound bell, right, I mean it's one-handed for that 50-pound bell is. I mean, it's challenging, right? So as your bell gets bigger in the non-kettlebell sport type bell, right? It's harder. My 70-pounder downstairs, I can't even do one armed. It's got to be 2-arm swings and some other stuff because it's so big, right?
It is
but
big.
it is a way for people to work more strength into their systems, right? If they just have smaller, if you're a short person, right, or eventually and you're working more strength eventually, right? It's just really hard to work maybe heavier weight.
Yeah, no, 100%. 100%. And well, and the other thing too, with doing doubles, right? Once you start doing doubles, sometimes, again, it's depending on the size of the bell, like sometimes the cast iron ones, the solid cast ones are better, especially if you're like, say, it's a pro and a con. Like if you're female, if you're trying to like swing, if you're short stature and all that, you're trying to swing 2 bells, you know, it might be a little unwieldy, man, with the size of the competition ones as they're made today.
Sure. Yeah, because they're I got you. Because they're big, right? Sure.
It is what it is.
All right. So speaking of whether you're a small girl or whoever, right? Where would you advise a beginner, a new learner to start training program? Right? Whether that's a training program, a technique, or training, some type of program, technique, right? So for that new person or that new learner. So whether start with kettlebell, if you got something beyond that, go for it.
Yeah, well, kettlebells. Okay, so the first thing you want to master, then we'll back up to it. First thing to master is the what's known as Russian swing, right? That's number one, right? That's going to build your back endurance, it's going to build your grip strength, it's going to build some cardio. But if you break down, this comes down, you break down the movement. Really, what is it? It's the exact same movement that you use in your deadlift. You know what I mean? It's a hip hinge, right? So whether you're doing with no weight, doing a good morning, dude, get your butt back, keep your shins vertical. You know what I mean? Keep your back straight and work from there, right? Work perfect technique. If you could deadlift a kettlebell in perfect technique, then you just accelerate it. How do you accelerate it? With your glutes, right? It's hips and grips. You know what I mean? It's like use your butt. You know what I mean? Big muscle in your butt. You know what I mean? Bam. And your hips, dude, hips is everything. And that's what's going to propel the weight up. And that. So, you train enough people like everybody, they kind of misinterpret it, man. They want to get the belt a certain height, and next you know, it's like a front delt exercise. I actually had a guy, man, and I was training and training this class. He's like, "Hey, Jeff," because I just want, say I love that Russian swing. I'm like, "Yeah, why is that?" He's like, "Man, it's really striating my delts." I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?"
Not good, right? Not good.
Yeah, right.
So if you're more of an experienced person, not the new beginner, you've been lifting kettlebell, I don't know, maybe someone's, learned 20 techniques or, they've been around a while, they got basics down, right? Where would they be? What should they be doing? That experienced person, maybe they've been lifting kettlebell for 6 months or a year.
Right. Here's the thing. I'm not, okay. It's kind of a loaded question because training with, right? It's like there's because I've seen guys, no joke. I'm talking like phenomenal coaches. Like, they could be great Olympic weightlifters. They could be great gymnastics, CrossFit, whatever, right? And they love the kettlebell. They love it, and they've been doing it for like, say, I don't know, 2-3 years, 4 years, whatever. And they'll come to my course, and I'll be like, hey, and I just like boom, I'm working from the ground up. And you know what they all say? They're like, Jeff, how do I go back? Because everybody in my gym loves kettlebells. I love kettlebells. How do I go back and tell them I've been training them wrong? And I'm like, listen. And this is true. This is just not me making up, semantics here. I'm like, let's go. You weren't training them wrong. Go back and just tell them, hey, what I'm going to show you now is a little bit tweaks here and there. It's going to make you more efficient, and that's what efficiency. And you know the deal, man. There's a difference between like, you're trying to throw a punch. You got they really don't know the mechanics of it, and they make a powerful effort. Yeah, they don't have enough power to like crack an egg. But then you got guys that are like, dude, they're pretty wiry, whatever. They actually know how to use body mechanics. Bink. You know what I mean? Effortless power. And you're dropping people like, you know what I mean? Like they're handing out sleeping pills. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So, effortless power. That's what we're trying to do.
Better movement, right? We're talking about better movement, right?
100%. So that's my deal. For the guys that are experienced, go back, refine your technique. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Awesome. No, 100%.
And this is how you know. Let me just say this. This is how you know if your technique's getting better. It's like, dude, your reps gonna be going up. It's just not like, you know, it's like your reps should be going up almost effortlessly.
Reps go up, or maybe go up a different size bell.
Of course, absolutely.
Obviously, right? Because we're getting stronger, no doubt about it, right? Grease in the groove.
Yes, sir.
Right? Grease in the groove. All right, let's move on here. We got a few minutes left. I got a few questions left. So who has or does inspire Jeff?
Man, it's like, who doesn't? You know what I mean?
Awesome. I love it.
Yeah. No, it's like, here's it. I don't want to say like, it is true, man. It's like everybody. It's like, if I watch, you know, if I go to gymnastic meet, right, and I watch like these little like 8-year-old girls, you know, 8-year-old boys, like, and I'm sitting there like, dude, if I could do like half what they're doing, you know what I mean, I'd be doing all right. You know what I mean? And the same thing, like, you know, if I go back and watch like young kids boxing, wrestling, yeah, I mean, it's not, I don't look at the high, you know what I mean? When I look at that, like when I watch CrossFit, I don't even care what the guys are doing. I'm looking like, all right, what's females doing? You know what I mean? Let's come up with some realistic goals, maybe, you know what I mean? But no, man, I always look at, I can always learn from I can learn from everybody. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's the best mindset, right? We all should be, right? Cup is always empty. Cup is always empty.
Always, yeah.
All right. So where do you feel that tactical athlete in yourself will be in like 5 years?
Man, I have no idea. You know, it's I'll tell you like going back to the passion and stuff like that. And you know, like I really feel, and especially now, maybe it's because, you know, I'm a grandfather of 3. It's like, I feel like a huge, I don't know what the word is, man. I guess passion to training like the next generation, you know, training.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? Really like in everything, you know what I mean? It's like, hey, because I think there's a lot of skills that have kind of been.
So that's what's called leaving your legacy, Jeff. Right? I'm serious, right? Someday I'm not going to be here. Someday Jeff's not going to be here, right?
True. That's true.
My job, whether it's, you know, military, law enforcement, coach, trainer, whatever, yoga teacher, whatever, everything we do, firearms instructor, right? It's about passing that knowledge on. That's what I'm hearing you say.
No, 100%. You know, I wish, knowing what I know now, I could go back, you know, and ask my grandfathers a lot more questions. You know what I mean? Yeah, like my grandfather and their side, and they were also from a generation that those guys are badasses, and they never even talk about it. You know what I mean? Yep. It's like, you know, the whole World War II generation, and you grew up in the Depression. My grandfather, like, I knew he boxed, and I knew, like, you know, he boxed professionally, and that was like before, you know, he went in the Navy and stuff. I didn't even realize until like after he passed away. And that's the other thing too, man. Like, he never talked about it. I mean, my brother boxed, but he never, like, you know what I mean, like. really like show us anything, you know what I mean? He always like,
they're quiet, right? The quiet badasses.
You know, then I find out, like, going through, you know, after he passed away and my grandma passed away, dude, that guy's like, and I showed like his record and everything to like guys I know that really know the fight game. They're like, holy smokes, man. They're like, number one, that was the most competitive weight class in that era. And 2, like, dude, he was like crushing people, man. And yeah, it's just, yeah, and he never talked about it.
Cool.
Like, come on, Graham. I wish I knew. I wish I knew.
All right, Jeff, we're approaching the half hour that we got, and I got 2 fun questions that I've been incorporating into our podcast. Might not always be the same, but if you could have any superhero power, what would it be?
Man, here's the thing with that. I was looking at that, and I'm afraid I'm going to be letting you down on these probably last 2 questions.
All right.
It's like I don't follow like any of that. You know what I mean?
I don't either. But I don't either. I couldn't tell you I want to be Iron Man or this or that. But what would you want if you could have it?
I don't even know, man. Dude, I just want to be like, honestly, man, I just want to be as good as some of the generations prior to me. You know what I mean? If I could be half the stuff of those guys, you know what I mean? I'd be doing all right.
Awesome. So would you rather be forced to dance every time you heard music or sing along to any song that you heard?
Here's a very easy answer to this, man. Dude, I cannot sing nor dance. So
it's all good then, brother. So, hey, you know, one of the biggest first of all, again, thank you so much for being here today. Greatly appreciate you. Right. I mean, again, my purpose, passion, principles, I am so thankful for you and spending time with you and giving me tools to again, train other people. Right. So when I look at answering your question, like where are you going to be in 5 more years, I look at it as I hope you got more coaches out there, right? And then they make more coaches and they make better people, right? It's you answered it yourself. Like, what do you want? I mean, you kind of said that, right? I mean, like we just hope to continue to push to the next generation as well, right? And one of the things that you said to me a long time ago was, and I do it all the time now, right? So I train a standard. And I got that from Jeff, and it's, you know, it's like, okay, cool, we'll crawl, walk, run, right? But you know, I'll be here as long as I need to be here to train to standard, you know, in a reasonable, so give you a break or whatever, right? And maybe come back tomorrow, but it's about training to standard. So that's just, you know, it seems like just where we should be, right? Not that we need things perfect, but you know.
No, it's you know what's that? You always strive for perfection, but you kind of settle for excellence. And and a good friend of mine said, he summed it up this way, and this is true. I don't care like who you are. It's like he goes, it doesn't take talent to be consistent. And dude, and you know what he was saying, man.
Yep.
You
don't need to be the best.
You don't, and hard work beats talent, and talent doesn't work hard.
Always. Yep.
So just be consistent, you know what I mean? Just go for incremental changes. And and again, man, it's just like, and one of my martial art instructors, he said this when I was a kid. And I remember, and dude, this really has no doubt influenced my life. He's like, hey, listen, Jeff, he goes, and this is in reference to practicing. He's like, because you know what? The human body is incapable. It's not capable of perfection. Because you know what that means? I'm like, no, because that means there's always room for improvement. You know what that means? It means you always need to be practicing.
1% better every day in every way is my mantra. 1% better every day in every way. So, 100%. Jeff, I want to thank you for being here. Like I said, everybody, tacticalathlete.com is where you can find Jeff online. He's got courses on there. He's got his kettlebells on there, right? Jeff, go ahead. Anything else to finish where people can find you? Anything you want to push?
No, and there's also like, I got a daily blog, whatever, that's on Tactical Athlete, a lot of free information there. So yeah.
Workout squads and stuff like that. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Yeah. Just wish you all the best, and any way I can help you out, man, just give me a shout.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, everybody, I'm going to keep Jeff on for just a minute, but thank you so much for being with us today, whether you're watching this live with us right now or you're watching the replay. Stay tuned for more podcasts from experts, right, in various different fields, people that I love, promoting what Modern Era Warriors, Integrated Warrior Training is all about. Thanks for being here. Train hard, train smart, train safe, train real, and train for life.
Oh.